verse 28 and onwards. So, Hare Krishna, Murari Valla Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, all glories to you and all the devotees joining today. I take
Welcome.
their blessing to purify myself and give a reasonable good class. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the call, and today we have a Shivratri or Mahashivratri.
Yeah, sure.
So, happy Mahashivratri to all of you devotees. So, please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jayo Radha Madhava Radhe Jayo Radha Nila Madhav Radhe Jayo Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Radhe Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajataka Stotra Sati Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai Namachara Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udirahe. Before reciting the Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance to the personality of the Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके bhaktirbhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of the Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. Shravanam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunati swati satam. Sri Krishna, the personality of the Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotees, who is developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagvatam Everyday, Canto 7, Chapter 13, text 28 and 29. We'll try to finish. Iti yedat atmana swartam santam vismrita vaipumam vichitram asati dvaite goram apnoti samshritim. Iti, in this way, that a person materially conditioned, atmana, of his self, swa-artham, own interest, santam, existing within oneself, vishmrita, forgetting, why, indeed, puman, the living entity, vichitram, attractive, false varieties, asati, in the material world, dvaite, other than the self, goram, very fearful, due to the conscious continuous acceptance of birth and death. Apnoti, one becomes entangled. Samshritam, the material is existent. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this way, the conditioned soul living within the body forgets his self-interest because he identifies himself with the body. Because the body is material, his natural tendency to be attracted by the varieties of the material world. Thus, the living entity suffers the miseries of material existence. Purport. Everyone is trying to be happy because, as explained in the previous verse, Sukham asatmano rupam sarveho pata itistano. When the living entity is the original spiritual form, he was happy by nature. There is no question of miseries for the spiritual being. As Krishna is always happy, the living entities who is part and partial are also happy by nature. But because of being put within the material world and forgetting the eternal relationship with Krishna, they have forgotten the real nature. Because every one of us is a part of Krishna, we have very affectionate relationship with him. But because we have forgotten our identities and are considering the body to be self, we are afflicted by the troubles of birth, death, old age, and disease. This misconception is materialistic life continues unless and until one comes to understand his relationship with Krishna. The happiness sought by the conditioned soul is certainly only illusion, as explained in the next verse. Jalam tadi udbhavaschanam hitvajno jala kamaya mriga atrastham upadvajivet tata anya atadrik swatam. Just a deer, because of ignorance, cannot see the water within the well covered by grass, but run after everywhere. The living entity covered by the material body does not see the happiness within himself, but runs after the happiness in the material world. Purport, Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is an accurate example depicting how the living entity, because of lack of knowledge, runs after happiness outside his own self. When one understands the real identity of as a spiritual being, he can understand the supreme spiritual being Krishna and the real happiness exchange between Krishna and oneself. It is very interesting to know how these words point to be body's growth from the spiritual soul. The modern materialist scientist thinks the life grows from matter, but actually the fact is matter grows from life. The life or the spiritual soul is compared here to water, from which clumps of matter grow in the form of grass. And one who is ignorant of scientific knowledge of the spiritual soul does not look inside the body to find happiness in the soul. Instead, he goes outside search of happiness. Just a deer without knowledge of the water beneath the grass goes out of to the desert to the find water. The Krishna conscious movement is trying to remove the ignorance of misled human beings who are trying to find water outside the jurisdiction of life. Raso va sa, rasoham apsukam teya. The taste of water is Krishna. To quench one thirst, one must taste water formed by association with the Krishna. This is the Vedic instruction. Om ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuru militam ena tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Cha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Se Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpataru Bhiksha Krapa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Taking blessing from all Vaishnava and Vaishnavis. Yesterday, Prabhuji, Jugal Kishore Prabhuji nicely explained what is the real nature of the soul. It wants happiness. And happiness within self can be found easily rather than going out. Here, the example are given why spiritual soul wants to be happy, because it identifies itself with the body. When it identifies itself with the body, the nature of the body is to look for happiness outside, because he is not aware that only happiness comes with the attraction to Krishna, associating with Krishna, serving Krishna, and always taking the name of the Lord Krishna. Then only the real happiness comes. This Chapala Sukha Lagi yesterday, Prabhu was explaining, because we want Chapala Sukha. There is Sukha, though it is illusion. Why Prabhuji is telling it is illusion? Because when we finish that Chapala Sukha, there is nothing to remember about that Sukha. Because once it is over, that act of happiness, eating, mating, sleeping, everything, that act is over, we cannot enjoy the act again, because it's a dream. Like when the dream is over, you cannot enjoy the dream when you're awake. So that is the reason it is actually, to make us illusion that this is permanent. There is nothing permanent in this Chapala Sutta. That is a temporary problem and temporary solution. The permanent solution is the eternal bliss, Ananda Manobhasya. We all know that Satchit Ananda. That is only available to us when we join back to Krishna consciousness and associated with Krishna and his devotees and serve him with full heart. Then only the real happiness comes. So here it is explained about the deer in the next verse, text 29. Why deer is not looking the water below the whatever bush is there? Because it doesn't see, doesn't have knowledge, doesn't have inclination to find out where is the water. It runs in the desert and most of the time it dies looking for water. Like that, it is explained our situation. The happiness is there within ourselves, but we are looking for outside. Entertainment industry is doing so much in this world that entertainment industry, players, singers, producer, and all these people are growing more and more. But what is the entertainment? Which part of the body we get entertainment? It is the mind. Mind is attracted for the entertainment, not the soul. Once we understand, because once the entertainment over, mind still in distress. It wants more entertainment without understanding what is necessary. When Arjuna has got ethical crisis, he has to surrender to Krishna. He has to take the advice from Krishna because he himself cannot understand the intricacy of this karma and attachment to the family, all these duties of the family, everything he could not understand. So Krishna has to come and save him. That is why yesterday Prabhuji was telling Tapo Divyam, why sacrifice? When Brahma sent us here in this material world, he said, do yajna and happy, because the sacrifice is more important. Otherwise, this attachment to our family, car, and everything bound us back. This is bound us is there, and we have got boundaries also. We cannot exceed our boundaries. We can't be doer. We think we are doer. The example was given about the bus when mother is waiting for the child in the bus and she could not find the bus and somebody gives her sweet or something. She's not in a mood to enjoy that sweet. Why? Because she's more attached to the child's welfare. It's one way she is dutiful. And when he's dutiful, you are beautiful also. That is not exactly, because one of the time my wife's sister's son did not come to home in the bus. They were fanatic. They were complaining to police, and little Krishna gave them intelligence, and they said where the bus is parked, school bus. Then the driver said it's parked here. They went there, they opened that. He was sleeping in the back seat nicely. The child was sleeping. So we should understand, if at all that time the intelligence comes from the Krishna only. If you are surrendered to Krishna, or if you know Krishna, that's why today's quote also, when you chant nicely in whole life, then you can remember at the time of death, when we're leaving the body, because we know that around 42,000 scorpion bite is there. The soul is so much attached to that body, it doesn't want to leave. But when one understands that this is not a permanent body for us, we have to leave and go back to Godhead. Once we know and take the name of the Lord at the time of that, and everything easy, because Krishna always says, Antakale Chapam. When you end of your life, when you smaranam, when you remember Krishna and take his name, the guarantee is there that we go back to Godhead. That is the reason whatever we do in this life gives us the future life. When we want to happy in this life, material life, with small things, then the permanent Satchit Ananda, we will not get it, because it is only available in spiritual world. So Arjuna's lamentation of death of his son Abhimanyu, he was, flamagusing all the brothers. He was chastising and he was condemning them almost. Krishna has to come there also to tell him that they're already in so much lamentation and you are putting, that wound, you're putting some salt in that. That's not good because everyone is lamenting the loss. But Krishna didn't say, I spoke to Bhagavad Gita and now you're lamenting. What is the use of I'm speaking? He didn't say that. He specified them. He knows the emotion of people. Emotion of people have got different emotion. We cannot come say that when they are emotionally, in bad mood or anything. We cannot preach them our deep philosophy. First, we have to console them. That we have to learn from our acharyas, our spiritual master. When they console, first they tell what is their problem. They listen patiently. What is their problem? Loss of relatives, loss of property, everything they listen. Then they will say, it is our karma, our fate and everything. God wants that because we know when Prabhupada wants to in spiritually, Lord took everything from him, all his opulences. He was having only Bhagavatam. He was completely depending on Bhagavatam. That is why he said, Nachao, Nachao. He said, Krishna in the ship, you can make me dance, make me dance. That is the reason we should know. We cannot dance even unless Krishna make us dance. And we will go in ecstasy only when Krishna sanctioned that ecstasy for us, chanting the holy name and listening to because once we know we are not the body, then we can understand the deep inner meaning of that. We are the spiritual soul, and the spiritual po Krishnere Nitya Das. It is not Nitya Boss. So once we serve as a servant of the servant of the servant of the Gopi Pada Kamalu, when we follow the footsteps of gopis and we serve the Lord, then everything will be nice for us. Everything will be happy. Because here, the path which do not take self-realization, whichever path we go and we don't realize ourselves, self, then it is an illusion because temporary will not have a permanent solution. Eternal solution is only not with the body, but the soul. That is why Anandamaya Bhasa, Sandananda Ananda, because all this lamentation of people for just the loss of few things, they're thinking it is a permanent loss. There is nothing permanent loss in the temporary world. That is a temporary loss, and it will be time heals most of the times. So we should understand why we are pampering this body, why we should have so much pampering in body and children and other relatives, because we are not understanding. We should not pamper so much, but tormenting of body is also not good. When we do Ekadashi or another fasting, we should not torment. We have to conscious, which directed to Krishna consciousness. How much we fast, not important. What we focus on fasting day, that is Krishna important. Emotion of people are different. We have to cater sometimes their emotion. That's more important for us. Because unless we come to, connect them, they are not at all happy with our approach. So we should know that everything we do it for the sake, happiness of the Krishna. Unless Krishna is happy, unless our spiritual master happy, nothing can go, because fire of lamentation, illusion and fearfulness will not help us. Process of devotion service is so important for us and can mitigate all our distress, because this oral reception, this is Bhagavatam, the feeling of for loving devotion to Lord Krishna manifest at once and extinguish the fire of lamentation. Once we properly hear, then this applied knowledge known as Vijnana can be realized. This is the proper knowledge. Otherwise, we like Christians make only quote and translation. They don't quote the original verse. Islam tried to memorize the original, but Sanskrit, where Prabhupada, mercy of Acharyas, everything, it is so potent and it directly, connect us to the Krishna, memorizing some of the verse. So it is so potent. So they say they earn by integrity, spend by tranquility, save by proximity, bring stability and compatibility, because whether we have to see you are a helper or you are an achiever. The quickest pleasure, fastest solution, easiest explanation is given by Srimad Bhagvatam to all of us. We need not, go after so many literature of the worldly nature, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants his compassion to reach everyone to have love of God. Is providing, is promoting solution, but instruction only once. I have come here with full of fruits, but I have only two hands. I need more hands to distribute. So he is telling us this love of God is necessary for all the human beings in the life, because unless we are part of that, nothing can be done. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is printing, he started printing press to broadcast Bradanga, because he knows real Bradanga will reach only few yards or few furlongs or miles. But this Bradanga printing module he started because everyone should get this knowledge. And what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, he spread that modules, and he established 64 mats, and he has many, Toshana, all these things, periodicals he came. And what Srila Prabhupada did, he just walked with that talk and he spread all over the world, because it is a wish of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's approach is very scientific, and he knows that the scientific nature is necessary in the modern world. So he was defeating all other, people, those who are deviated from them. So when this press was started, it was a great help to all the publics. There were only 5 newspapers in Calcutta that time. One of us is ours, Vaishnava. So when you have Srila Prabhupada, when he started walking, with the sun, so much heat, but he is the printer, he is the distributor, he is the collector, everything one man show. He has given us so much opportunity in this world to distribute this knowledge of Krishna, which will help most of the people to come out from the illusion, and they should know what is the real happiness. The world trade today will cross 100 trillion, but there are 100 million people become poor. What a tragedy. We have almost distributed 500 million only out of 8 billion people. So there are so much people wanted our Bhagavad Gita. They want our knowledge, want our preaching, they want our association. We are most of the time miser not to give our association to them, because we are indulging in our own, plan. We are not connecting with Krishna's or spiritual master's instruction. We should be very serious, because there is hardly any time left in our life. We should understand that we have so much to do and so much less time. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. I got only 2 hands. He could have done it, not that he could not have done it. So this naimittika, that's temporary things, we have to come from naimittika to nitya, eternal dharma, because this chapala sukha will bind us in this world, and we always think the mind always thinking when we go to mall, when we go to that motel, when we go to yatra, when we go to this thing, the mind is always thinking, then there we can purchase something, there we can eat something, then we relish something. All these things comes because we are deviating ourselves from real happiness. We know that recently Kamal Lochan Prabhu is given a sannyasi. So he was such a wonderful person, and is given as Padma, Bhakti Padma. So he was Kamal Lochan Prabhu. He was already, lotus feet of Lord, because he's so much adhered to our spiritual. He never deviated from the beginning. When he was a brahmachari, then he became president, everything. He was Mira Road. Now, such people are necessary in our, congregation or our ISKCON, which they spread without ulterior motive. They don't have any selfish motive. That's why Krishna says, Anabhilashita Shunyam. These people are exemplary. Most of our spiritual masters are exemplary. They don't bother. He doesn't bother even this sannyasi who took sannyasi. They never bother, because whatever facility is given to them, they accept it as a Krishna's gift. Whatever comes to our part as a gift of Krishna, we should not lament why so much less. It is our part. We should be happy whatever we get that part. Otherwise, we will be tormented by this, desire. Why not? So we are not the prisoner of past, but we are the product of our past. We can change. We need not be a prisoner just because we are crippled, just because we don't have proper job, just because we don't have house. That is not causing us to be a prisoner of that, but we are improve on that, knowing that that our self-realization is more important for us to go back to Godhead. That is the spiritual path, and that's the real path. Once we understand what is our real path, nothing can deviate us. That's the reason here Acharya is telling us again and again, you are not the body, you are the soul. Think of the soul, that is known as Tesham Satata Yuktana. 10.10, we should know that, because when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wants to, establish so much in this world, he was not given proper, cooperation by his disciple, and everyone wanted their own role to play. They want selfish more. That's why if you see 1977, Srila Prabhupada never had any active role in Gaudiya Math. He didn't take any presidentship, everything. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was telling, leave him alone, he will do himself. That's the reason this Gaudiya Math fell apart, only because of they are not cooperative. They are not having the center of extraction of is their spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. They are finding their own way to have the big room for them, everything. That's why they are not come together. That's why when Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON, International Society, and GBC and BBT, everything, he had got a complete vision what is going to happen in the future. That's why he completely dependent on Krishna, and everything is necessary. So when I was telling about the printing technology, it has come from Portuguese. That is Johannes Gutenberg. He started this printing technology, and it has started in 1440, but it came very late, 1660, to India. That is also, one college in Goa, St. Paul's College, they started it. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so intelligent. He wrote in Amrit Bazar Patrika earlier in 19th century, 1881, and his own press. Nobody had that time press in ISKCON or Gaudiya Math. He has got his own press. He started everything. That brings us, because we are, printing so much Bhagavad Gita, so many Srimad Bhagavatam, but sometimes we are not enthusiastic to distribute it. There are so many facilities are given to us. Temple is there, association is there, transport is there, money is there. What else we want? We are not having the inclination, that desire. One of the time, I don't know whether I revealed you or not, Indradumna Maharaj was staying in Delhi in a big hotel after his operation of back, that is dorsal vertebra, I think 12 and 1 and 2, I think. So decompression was done. He was recouping himself in the big, and he wished to go to Kumbh Mela, but because of his surgery, he could not go. And he was wishing, somebody will bring water. Of course, water came from Kumbh Mela. He could take bath, everything. And that particular day, after 7 days of his operation, there his disciple comes. He says he want to attend the marriage, which is minister's son getting married, minister's daughter, sorry, getting married in the same hotel where you're staying. You can come and attend. Modi might come because Indradumna Maharaj has a strong desire to meet Prime Minister Modi. So he was thinking, and he had a book of his own to give him, Traveling Monk. So when he wishes, and with great difficulty, he came down and asked the receptionist. Receptionist said, whole hotel is, covered by intelligence. Nobody can move here and there. But he was standing there, and one gentleman came there, and he said, you want to attend this marriage? I got VIP pass. So he said, yes. Then they were attending, and he wished he had a book. The security took the book from him because they have to, scan it. So they said, if Mr. Modi comes Prime Minister to you, then we'll give you that time. Now we can't give. And same thing, he went there. He attended the marriage. Marriage means outside. The crowd was too much, and Modi walked in for 5 minutes. He blessed that girl and couple, and he came out. And when he came out, he saw saffron dress, sannyasi. He said, oh, Hare Krishna. Then he talked with them, and that time security came and gave that book. And he was talking with the, Modi for a few minutes. And that is the desire to meet for what? Not because he's a prime minister. Desire to spread Krishna consciousness made Krishna to make an arrangement. It's not a small arrangement because he's under scrutiny of, security, everything. He comes and says, Hare Krishna. How much, such people, love Hare Krishna people. That's why we always say, Prabhupada said once, the one day whole world will, so much happy to have Krishna conscious in this world. So we should be part of this Krishna conscious, which will help the whole world to come back to their original self, realization. Then only our, whatever we have been asked to do in this world, it is happening. So in Srimad Bhagvatam, if you see 8th canto, it is 8th canto, it is said about, because today is Mahashivaratri. Mataji wants me to talk about Mahashivaratri also. So here it is said that Supreme Personality of God is certainly not known to everyone, but is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearfully in force, endlessly chase everyone, ready to swallow him, if one is fierce of this serpent, seeks shelter of the Lord, and the Lord gives protection. For even death runs away in the fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender to him, the great, powerful, supreme authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. This is Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati. One who is intelligent understands that there is a great and supreme authority above everything. The great authority appears in different incarnations to save the innocent from disturbances, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Paritana sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam. The Lord appears in his various incarnations for two purposes. to annihilate the Duskriti, the sinful, and protect his devotees. The king of the elephants. Now here, Gajendra is, I'm sorry. Gajendra is glorifying Lord. What is this? And then Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati how we can meditate on Lord Krishna and his form, everything. Because we know that Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava Yata Shambhu. He is one of the greatest Vaishnava we know of. He is always thinking of, giving message of the Lord. When Swayambhu Manu's 10,000 people, children went under the sea, under the water, and meditated on Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva gave the mantra to them of Krishna only, because he is meditating always on Sankarshan. Is the expansion of Sankarshan only. Actually, there is Sadashiva. That's the first, it is a part of Krishna only expansion. From Sadashiva, there are 12 Shivas come, Rudras come. They manage in this world. So we should know that originally it is Sadashiva. We know that who is Sadashiva? Chaitanya Advaita Acharya is Sadashiva only. So expansion of incarnation of Sadashiva. We should know how Shiva helps us. When Samudra Manthan was there, he voluntarily drank poison. So most of the time, if you see, is Parshad, most of their Pisachich and other thing. They roam again over and whenever who does wrong things in this world, that they put in that womb, that soul which is contaminated, soul comes to that. That's the reason we should follow what is written in the scriptures, Garbhadana and all the 12 samskar. We have to do that. Otherwise, we are in trouble from this Lord Shiva and his people. If you see the whole family of them, bull, lion, peacock, mouse, according to Shiva, Parvati, Kartikeyan, and Ganpati, they coexist. They don't fight, because though they are enemy, bull is enemy of lion kills it, peacock can easily kill mouse, but they are coexisting family. That's why we should know that coexisting in this world is necessary. We should not kill any pests when we are using pesticide. Instead of that, we can keep our house very clean. In everyday cleaning everything, the pest may not come. When it is too much pest, we can do some, organic pesticides, everything. That's why organic things have come recently, 2, 3 years or 5 years back, for this nature, because there are so much pollution, so much pesticide, so much chemicals are there. That's why most of the things happening in this world, because they want fast growth everywhere. They want the fastest. That's why they are mixing so many chemicals, and that will affect our body, and it creates some havoc, bringing the cancer and everything. There are 12 Swayambhu lingas are there. The one is Mallikarjuna, that is in Andhra Pradesh. Mahakaleshwar, that's Ujjain. Omkareshwar, that's in Madhya Pradesh. Bhima Shankar, that is in Maharashtra. And Vishwanath, Kashi Vishwanath, it's in UP. Trimbakeshwar, that is in again Nasik, Maharashtra. Vaidyanath Jyoti, that is in Jharkhand. And Nageshwar in Dwarka. Rameshwaram in Rameshwar. Then Somnath, we know, Gujarat, and Kedarnath in Himalayas, and Gusha Maheshwar in Rajasthan. There are 12, and 13 and 14. 13 is there in Gokarna, that is in Karnataka. Then Ravana, we know that Ravana was given that linga by Shiva himself, and he was carrying it. And by the time evening, the Sandhya Vandan he has to do, and Lord Shiva came as a small boy. Lord Shiva Vishnu came as a small Brahmana, and he said, I will hold this linga, because Shiva already told, if you keep this linga, Jyotirlinga, then it will be not, you cannot remove that place. So Brahmana thought, I will give to this boy, Brahman boy, he will hold it till my Sandhya Vandan. So you take a bath and doing, but the boy is smart because he's, expansion of Lord only. He kept the linga there, and it's still there. And most of the time you see the linga, Jyotirlinga, are inside the earth. It's partly inside, partly outside, most of the time you see. And that is the reason that is, most of the time it is Swayam, appearance from Shiva. And Shiva was cursed once by Brahma. He will not be worshipped by his own appearance, means own body or own form. And Shiva cursed Brahma, he will not have many temples, only 1 or 2 temples in the world. But if you see, the 13 temples is Grand Basin, Mauritius. That is the 13th one. And if you take a line of this, you join all these places, it will be like a conch shell. It's a, so this is very, very auspicious. Whenever we try, whenever we get to know there is a Shiva temple, we should go and we should pray for our, expedite our devotion to Krishna. He is always Ashutosh. He is easily, pleasing. You can easily please him. That is why when we please him, it's easy for us to, in devotional service, is such a strong Vaishnava. So once we know that we have, Lord Shiva can help us in our devotion. Whenever the opportunity comes, we know in Vrindavan, there are enough, all the 4 places, there are Shiva's temple. Once we go there and pray, there is, everything will be easy for us, because he can drink the poison of this world and make us easily accessible to Krishna Prem. That's why we should know that whenever there's opportunity, we should reach this one of the Chatur thing, because he is born in Chaturdashi of Krishna month of Palguna, and he is very, very auspicious. He's come from the, we know that when Brahma got angry, he came from the forehead. They say, I don't know, because I have not, he has got 3 eyes. When he opens the 3rd eye, in the Pralaya, there is so much, Tandava, Nratya is there, he does. But this is supposed to be, Mahashivaratri is the marriage of Lord Shiva and Parvati. So that is why people fast on that day. And there is a misconception of bhang also. There is nothing like in the scriptures they should drink such, liquor or one type of bhang. It will intoxicate. For us, intoxication comes from chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We know that Rudra Sampradaya comes for 4 Kamaras also there. Even Narad worship Shiva. So it is Shivite or Vaishnavite. There is not much difference unless we know ultimate aim to please Krishna, because Lord Shiva wants to please. That's more important. That is why when we do puja, when we say puja, it is only demigod worship. When you do puja, means it is a demigod worship. There is a ulterior motive with us. We want something benefit, selfish motive. That's why Annabhilachi Shunyam is only bhakti. There is only the pleasure of Krishna, we do that. And demigod are bound to give benediction. When you do, if you see all the asuras, Brahma and they please Brahma or Lord Shiva, they are bound to give benediction. Krishna is not like that. Krishna will see what is beneficial. He doesn't give benediction easily, but gives us beneficial, plan. He does a perfect plan, because whatever benediction this demigod Shiva, everything, nobody survived. If you see Ravana, if you see Kamsa, you see Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, you name any asuras, they could not survive, because they are, first of all, demigods are bound to give benediction, and it's not a permanent benediction, because they are not permanent. So we understand that Krishna is telling us, don't neglect demigods. You respect them. Due respect we have to give whenever we visit this temple of Lord Shiva and other people. But we are not, worshipping them in our house for some reason, because their benediction, because first of all, they are bound to give benediction, and that benediction may not be good for us, because we have got ulterior motive, then we are something which is not practical. So whenever we see these temples of demigods, we should respect them, we should go, we should pay obeisances. One of the study some people did, it may not be correct, that Muslim and Mughals, they didn't destroy much of Shiva temple, somehow, Brahma temple. They destroyed most of the Krishna temple and Vishnu temple. And if you see in even Pakistan, there is Umarkot, there is a Shiva temple. And around Mahashivaratri, 2 lakhs people come there to worship Lord Shiva every Mahashivaratri. And outside India, there are 2 million temples, not Shiva temple, Hindu temples. And in Houston only, there are 61 temples, and Dallas, around 29 to 31 temples. Just see how many temples are there. The average 10,000 people, one temple is there. Highest is in Goa. Because it's a small and temples are more, it is less than 10,000 people, one temple is there. And the revenue generated by the temples are around $57 billion. Just see, it is almost 2.8 per capita income. That shows how much important, how much British has destroyed, how much Mughals and, Islam people, the kings destroyed. They do not understand the revenue part of it and the devotion part of it, how Pujari worship the Lord, everything. They neglected that. Now, the present government is, encouraging, because they know there is a revenue part also. Because in Kumbh Mela, we saw it is already crossed 50 crores, 500 million people taken holy bath, and they spend, around 2 to 3 lakhs 3 lakhs crores rupees. Just imagine how much in generation. It is around $40 billion in terms of. So much revenue comes from one small incident, but they will be encouraged. If you encourage these people having this event when Janmashtami comes, now Gaur Purnima comes, which is very, very auspicious for us. It is actually, it's bigger than Janmashtami for us, because we are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And once we know how much we are grateful to Lord Chaitanya, we should appreciate. And when we appreciate, by practically calling most of our relatives, friends, office, everyone to attend this festival, and we can preach them, we can everything. There is a small song about Savarna Shri Gaura Mahim. Gaurangira Duti Pada Jaradana Sampada Sejane Bhakti Rasa Sa Gaurangira Madhura Lila Jara Karne Praveshila Radayo Nirmala Belota Je Gaurangara Namaloe tara hoye prema doye, tare mohi jahi boli kare, gauranga gune te jure, nitya lila tare spure, se jana bhakti adhikari, gaurangera sangi gane, nitya siddha kori mane, se jaye brajendra sutapa, Sri Gauda Mandala Bhumi, Jeme Jane Chintamani, Tara Hoi Braja Bhumita, Gaura Prema Rasarnave, Setarange Jebe Dube, Sri Radha Madhava Antaranga, Grahe Bhavani Tetake, He Gauranga Bole Dake, Narottama Magetara Sangha, Gaurangera Duti Pada. So here, Narottam Das is praising how much, we need the lotus feet of Gauranga, because he is none other than Radha Krishna. When we surrender the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga, everything is possible. All our miseries, all our foolish desires, all our unwanted wealth, opulences, and followers will be taken away, because that pure bhakti, the purity comes in our heart. The heart has to be pure for that. We always tell we should have a ice factory in the head, sugar factory in the tongue, and satisfactory in the heart. Satisfaction only comes when we remove all our anarthas, 6 anarthas and unwanted desire, annabhilashita. Then we are satisfied, because Krishna is going to reside in our heart, and which gives us a very, very, satisfaction for the soul. Soul will not be attached to the body then. It is always think of the Lord. When we think of the Lord 365 days, 7 by 24, when they were sleeping, we know that we told many times, Arjuna, when he was sleeping, every pore of his, calling Krishna, Krishna. There is nothing else when Arjuna's. So that mood of Arjuna, that mood of Acharyas, when they talk only about Krishna. Then our path is very smooth in this world. Though there are miseries will not bind us. Then attachment really we can get rid of it. Then we are the real candidate for going back to Godhead. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for this nectarine class, and especially explaining about Mahashivratri and Lord Shiva and his temples, the Bara Jyotirlinga, his 12 Jyotirlingas. Yeah, we have it two Jyotirlingas, but we still need to go 10 more. So,
Yeah, that actually there is a Shiva temple in Grand Canyon. You know that? Arizona.
oh, acha.
That is 5,200 feet height.
Hari Bol.
That is almost, very old. They say it is more than 10,000 years old or something, but we don't know exactly. And there is, when Brahma said to us, you should do sacrificial fire. Most of if you do correctly the fire sacrifice, the fumes comes from there. When we inhale, we become very, very pure. Most of our asthma, most of our disease can go. But that smoke which comes out, which is, you should tolerate it. You should tolerate and inhale nice way when you do sacrifice. Most of the things are. And this, whenever we want to intoxicate, think of intoxicate, you should have tandai, tandai, which is, then you mix with that tandai little dry grapes, gray, not black. Then add some molasses. Then you add some honey. That gives you intoxication, proper intoxication if you want to become. But it should not be given to children under 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I request all the devotees, if you have any question or comment, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Partha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all
Dandavat,
glories to
Dandavat.
Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class,
Hare Krishna.
telling us about the wonderful surrender of Srila Prabhupada, and also telling us about Lord Shiva on Mahashivratri. Prabhuji, my question is, how can we know, like, eh, what is the right instruction for us? Just like Srila Prabhupada was able to understand what his spiritual master really wanted, he did not go. He did not get any help from the Gaudiya Mutt, etc. But however, he made a whole empire in the whole world for us to all live in. So how can we know what is the real instruction for each one of us?
We
Thank
are
you,
we
Prabhuji.
are we are listening Bhagavatam. They are full of instruction by the acharyas. Their experience, how Krishna protects, all the time. It is not one time he protected. If he protected Gajendra, he protected Draupadi, he protected Srila Prabhupada. He was always there. He says, I am always there behind you. Why you are worried? We are simply worried because we are thinking, what we will be in a dvanda. We don't know. There are people, so many people are available. We are so lucky to born in this age because we get so much association of spiritual masters, so much association with the. Yesterday, if you have heard that class of Jugal Kishore Prabhu, how much is elevated, how much is sacrificed. Every help comes. He has gone through so much trouble initially, but he overcame. And he's the one, I'll tell you, when Detroit Temple wanted $110,000 within 1 or 2 days for something. He raised within 1 day. So such empowerment comes from Lord Krishna only, and Acharyas and spiritual master. So we should not worry about the instruction. There are so many instructions given every day. If you listen the classes of these great people, you are so fortunate in everyday chanting. You have got so much association with, last 10-15 years they are serving this community. They are very, very nice. I am the only one who doesn't know Shastra, but all the other people, so much elevated soul. If you listen to them, you will be definitely guided nicely and you get enough instruction. And you can directly contact them also. They will, whenever you are feeling, you are in Dwanda, then you can ask them what I should do. They will definitely tell you with their experience. And we have got Shastras, all the acharyas, comments are there. That's everything is written. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat. All glories to you, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Lord Shiva.
Yes, this is such a nice class. Taking upon how we should spread the message of Krishna consciousness across.
Yeah, because Krishna says I am the taste of water. We are not distributing that water to all the people in the world. We have got the water, but we are lazy, we are cozy many times. We want to be in the comfort zone. We have to come forward. If you don't take risk, you will not gain anything. You have to have some pain and then only gain will come. That's why we should be eager to preach this message of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then mercy always flows. Such abundant mercy is there to Acharyas, spiritual master, Vaishnavas. There are plenty of mercy coming. We can be successful. There is one, I don't know his name, gentleman. He distributed 1,000 Bhagavad Gita in 1 day. And whenever he goes to I think he's from Atlanta, or I don't know exactly. He came here, so much enthusiastic. They dance like mad, ecstasy. They sing like ecstasy. And people come all over the world to learn from him how he can do that. If he waits in a petrol pump for half an hour, he will distribute one Srimad Bhagvatam. Such empowerment from his spiritual master. And just see, Krishna House or something is part of vice president, I think. I forgot his name. Such empowerment definitely comes forward. There are so many people are doing extremely well. Whatever best for us in preaching or book distribution or helping the temple, collecting donation, any part we are good, we have to do that. Not necessary that we have to do like other people.
Yeah. That is prana, artha, dhiya, vacha. Somehow we have to.
Yena kena prakarin. Krishna mana nivedana. Anyhow, see, we have to have our own innovation. I was thinking yesterday, I was talking with a residential brahmachari come sannyasi. I was telling there are 12 lakhs ships flying all over the world. If you have influence to keep one Bhagavad Gita in each ship, they have got Bible, they have got a library in most of the ships. See, if you keep one Bhagavad Gita in one ship, it is almost 1.2 million. Just imagine what is the real things we can do. There are ship cruise comes to our temple. I was asking yesterday. Of course, he has already taken one box. He's keeping. He's from Maharashtra. He comes regularly in our temple. So I was telling him he will try. He said he will try more books to be kept in that. Why only Bible? Why not Bhagavad Gita? So there are so many innovation we can see. How we can distribute.
Yeah. And YouTube and the media, they're being put to good use, and because of this YouTube only nowadays we're seeing, I'm not sure I'm right or not, but in this message, this is transcendental message is so pure and so sublime, and eliminates all the philosophical incongruences. So this is gaining a lot of.
We should take advantage. Yeah, social media, we should take advantage to bring more people. But everything, whatever you put in social media, at least 300 people see it per day. Any nonsense or anything useful. That's the advantage of social media.
And yes, I mean, the dharmic revolution in India is also largely because of the penetration of the social media there. And Shivaratri, you about the
most of our congregation distributes on this Shivaratri day. They go put a table. They distribute Srila Prabhupada book. At least I know in Mumbai. I don't know other places.
Yeah. Yes, and you got to know the glories of Lord Shiva, and it's so important to reflect upon the Lord Shiva and seek his blessings on our advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, we can get help from anyone. Whoever gives us more beneficial to, increase our faith in Krishna, we can go to anyone.
Yeah. And Lord Shiva would be most happy to give such benedictions.
Correct.
Material benediction.
When you give to someone, you'll be more happy than taking from someone. We should take only knowledge from someone, but we should give knowledge to others. Whichever we got from our acharyas and spiritual masters and Vaishnavas.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Your classes are nectarian, so we get glued to them, and more and more you think that this class shouldn't come to an end at all. Anyway, but you have your priorities in other Krishna in other ways. So yes, but we long to see you again in the future, Prabhu. So,
yeah, the time is passing so fast. We should be, running. We should be ecstasy in doing any Krishna conscious movement, Krishna conscious philosophy or book distribution. Then it's easy for us. That is a real ecstasy we should go.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This
Hare
is
Krishna,
Gita.
Gita Mataji, Gita Mataji ki
Thank you
jai.
so much for this wonderful class, as always. Really appreciate it. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you, if you could tell us, I wanted to know about the demigods. Can you tell me some of the demigods and
Yeah,
one?
these are the executives appointed by the CEO. CEO is Krishna. They are the executive. They have to follow. They don't have choice. That's why I said these people are bound to give benediction. They can't say I'm not giving benediction. So, but that benediction may not be good for you many times, and it may be harmful, and it is temporary because they are temporary. So why we should go for the temporary things when we are allowed to get eternal bliss, Satchitanand, from the real CEO, that is Krishna, through parampara, acharyas are there. So once we, surrender to them, they will impart their knowledge. Why we should have all these things? Demigods. Demigods are doing their job. Without sun, without moon, we can't survive. Stars are there. So they are executives which has to perform. They are fearful of Krishna. That is why I say, these people, Mayavadis, are very udas, but Krishna Das are always bindas. They don't bother who comes, who goes, who is the prime minister, who is this thing. We do our part. Krishna is doing his part. But demigod has to do their part. They are bound for so many things.
So Lord Shiva is a demigod?
Yes, Mataji, unfortunately.
That's why he's called Bholenath, now, because he gives benediction very quickly.
Yeah, he's asantosh. He's easily pleasable. That's why if you say Narkasu, he offered his Bhasmaso, also his name is. He offered his this thing, Lord was pleased. And he gave him benediction. Whoever touches his hand, he will be died. And he wants to touch Shiva's only. That is Asura's mentality. And he wants to enjoy with Parvati. So Krishna came and said,
yes, but Kailash is considered to be a very important dham, is it?
Every is also dham, because Prabhupada brought Vrindavan to every place. Wherever you traveled, he brought. Those who have got Krishna, we have to run after them. They will give us Krishna, Prema. So, Dham is for beginners. And when you elevate it, then you take beginners with you to preach them. What is the importance Dham? Where you are going, wherever you're going. But it ultimately has to connect Krishna only. Whether you go to Kailas, whether you go to Vrindavan, whether you go, whenever that Leela is there, with material eyes, we can't see the Leela of Krishna. Krishna's Leela is going on. 8 Kala is there. So, Ashtakala Leela is going on. But we can't appreciate unless we have been associated with the people who takes us to Yatra. They know everything. They don't need Yatras. They are already elevated. They are Nityas Buddhas, Nitya Sevas. They are already in the spiritual worlds, like Srila Prabhupada and his. So we need their association to understand. That's why we are going to Dham, not because of any other things.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji, if nobody has got any question, can we stop?
Yes,
Can we
Prabhuji.
end the session? Because I got service now.
Yes,
Sorry for that.
yes, thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. You are being so busy in temples, still you.
No, I am not busy. Sometimes it happens. Lord wants me to serve because I have still got a lot of anarthas. So he wants to get rid of anarthas. So he wants to engage me.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. just to there are some new devotees joining nowadays. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
also
very
to-
nice. I saw. Yeah. We should, enthusiast them. We should take them, some service from them. There will be, start whatever you feel. Then
Yes,
they will be attached. Yeah, because
that's
now
right.
it is growing. This is the right time to, bring them to this
Yeah,
everyday chanting. Yeah.
including service. So yes, Prabhuji. And so Prabhuji, Murari Vallabh Prabhu is a senior disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and
Okay,
he is
Mataji. There is nothing senior.
doctor. He is doctor by profession, but he did the voluntary retirement and now is serving in staying in Houston Temple, near Houston Temple, and serving lot of like deity worship and all the other services also. Mataji and he, so they are very senior devotees for us. So
Nothing senior, Mataji. You are more senior. Your behavior, your character, that counts. Senior doesn't count. I am still in the, that neophyte stage. And
that
that neophyte means everyday fighting, new fights with the Lord, with the other people. So I have to come out from that.
yeah, we need your humbleness, Prabhuji. You are so humble too. So let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
कल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री दास की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
All Vaishnav ki jai.
Jai.
मुरारी वल्लभ प्रभु जी की जय।
Jai.
Prabhupada
Jai.
ki
Hare Krishna.
थैंक
Hare
यू सो मच
Krishna.
प्रभु। हरे
Hare
कृष्णा।
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
हरि
Hari
बोल। धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.